It's amazing to see the work being done on the new I-74 bridge on the water. The construction team relies on the plans done years in advance to make it a reality. Now, a lot of that is in space we can't even see. That's where we pick up my conversation with I-74 bridge project manager Daniel Alvarez. How hard is it to work underwater? What is involved in that process?
Sure. So the work underwater, well, first of all, you have to think you're doing your entire job. You're floating on a boat. So that's definitely a challenge. You have to be very cautious and considerate of the shifts of equipment you have on your barge and how that might take place in the water. You have the wind, we have the current, and then of course we also have to accommodate navigational traffic through the work area. So it's definitely challenging.
You talked about working blind. You have to use cameras and things like that. Are those even usable with the water?
So they can use sonar. They have GPS equipment on a lot of their pieces of equipment that give us ideas on depths, and we also use a lot of divers to go down and physically wander around at the river bottom and assess the conditions we have there.
Are they able to flood a lot of light to actually make it more visible, or is that really
They don't have a lot of visibility down there. I've seen a few videos, but a lot of it's we rely on the survey information from the surface. We can translate that down once we start the drilled shaft process, and we can get some measurements off of our equipment.
I imagine the surveying's been reliable to this point.
Yes, surveying is something that we're very concerned about, because what we definitely want to make sure is that everything matches.
That what they say is there is actually there or isn't there.
Correct, and that all of the bridge across Iowa all the way into Illinois, that everything meets up.
Now, we know projects like this have milestones or benchmarks. You want to reach certain points. What was the last milestone you reached and when?
Sure. So the last milestone would be at the end of the fall. They had to build the plug fill in Moline along River Drive, and that was important for us to be able to continue work on the river bridge and the south connection onto land in Iowa. And then there are several other milestones in Illinois where they have the completion of a lot of the local road work that will need to be done this year to prepare for 2019, when there are more significant traffic impacts on 74.
What is the next milestone you expect to reach, and when is that?
Sure. So I think as far as the corridor goes, the next milestone would be in the spring, when we shift traffic onto the local system. We maintain one lane of I-74 over the river, and we do that so that at the end of 2019 we can open the westbound structure to traffic, because on the very north end of the existing bridge, our new bridge overlaps there, so we have to make that connection point, which necessitates the detouring of local traffic.
How far ahead or behind are you, and how much pressure is there for you to stay on schedule?
Sure, there's definitely a lot of pressure to stay on schedule. There could be aspects that are going on better than others, but the schedule is just something that we keep on the forefront of our minds, and it's something that we keep a very, very close eye on. So right now it's at the position where it looks like we're going to be able to complete on time, but we're at the mercy of the weather and other things. So
you're probably just days either way, essentially, not like massively ahead or behind.
Right.
How much does, let's say, the flooding where the high water interfere? Are you able to work when the water was high, or when there's ice on the river and things like that?
Sure. So we'll talk about in the winter and the ice. They had to they continued to work, except for there were a few weeks where it was below zero. Very first of the year, not a lot happened then. They do break the ice to allow for delivery of material into the river throughout the winter. And then here in the recent floods that we've had, it really impacts access to the arch foundations, and as well mostly the issues they've been seeing are along the Iowa bank, because the current becomes very strong. So there are times where they have to scale back operations to only deliver people. Equipment's maybe not, or material isn't able to be delivered during those times, so they try to focus what work they can in the Sylvan Slough if that area is accessible at the time. So we still can try to continue to work, but definitely it's not 100% accessible 100% of the time.
Part two of my interview with I-74 project manager Daniel Alvarez. Now, we couldn't fit all of it in here. You can find the rest, including more on the traffic changes you can expect as it moves along, and a web extra online at ourquadcities.com. Now to our question of the week. What do you think about the progress being made on the new I-74 bridge? Send your answer by email to fortherecord at WHBF.com, or respond to this post on Facebook at the Local 4 News WHBF TV page, or on my page.